Welcome to Path Dynamic, the place where excuses die and your future finally wakes up. Here we turn fear into fuel, hesitation into motion, and dreams into the blueprint you live every day. If you're ready to level up, lock in. Your breakthrough starts right now. You ever sit there staring at your phone, scrolling through everybody else's wins, thinking, man, why does my life feel stuck on loading mode? You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're not slow. The truth is way simpler. Your mind is overclocked with noise. Too many thoughts, too many doubts, too many what-ifs running laps in your head like they're training for the Olympics. And while all that mental chaos keeps spinning, your feet stay glued to the ground. See, most people think their problem is lack of motivation. Nah, motivation ain't the issue. Your real enemy is overthinking. You've turned every move you want to make into a science project. You analyze the angles, calculate the risks, study the timing, and in the process the moment passes. The door closes. The chance fades. Because the world doesn't reward the person who thinks the most. It rewards the person who moves. And I know what you're probably telling yourself. I'm just being smart. I'm planning. I'm preparing. But listen, preparation turns into procrastination real fast when fear is driving the car. Your mind tricks you into believing you're working, when really, you're stalling. You're in neutral, revving the engine, making noise, but going nowhere. Here's the wild part. Overthinking feels safe. That's why your brain does it. It makes you feel like you're in control. Like if you think long enough, you'll eliminate every risk, every mistake, every embarrassment. But that's a lie. Overthinking doesn't protect you. It just handcuffs you. It takes a simple decision and turns it into a 10-episode Netflix series with no ending. Think about all the moves you wanted to make. Starting that business, shooting your shot with someone, switching careers, learning a skill, investing in yourself. But every time you got close, your mind turned into a courtroom. Evidence, objections, witnesses, pros, cons, charts, graphs, until you talk yourself out of the very thing your heart wanted. And while you're stuck in your head, life keeps moving. Opportunities walk right past you. People with half your talent lap you. Folks with less knowledge build the life you want, simply because they acted. They didn't wait to feel ready. They didn't wait for the perfect plan. They just jumped. Here's the raw truth. You're not stuck because you lack potential. You're stuck because you won't take the first step until you can see the whole staircase. But life doesn't work like that. Most of the time, the path shows up after you move, not before. Today, I want to help you escape that mental trap. I want to show you how to shut down the noise, stop drowning in thoughts, and switch into flow. That state where your actions feel natural, effortless, almost automatic. You don't need more thinking. You need clarity, movement, and momentum. This is where the shift begins. Let's break this down in a way nobody ever explained it to you. Because overthinking isn't just thinking too much. Nah, it's deeper. It's a whole psychological trap your brain sets without asking for permission. And once you understand how it works, you'll realize you're not the problem. Your wiring is. See, your mind is a prediction machine. Its whole job is to scan for danger, judge outcomes, and try to keep you alive. Back in the caveman days, that was useful. But today, you're not running from lions. You're running from emails, decisions, and imaginary scenarios that don't even exist yet. Your brain hasn't updated its software. So every time you face something new, uncomfortable, or important, your mind hits the alarm button like, yo, hold up, let's panic first. That's where the overthinking loop kicks in. You get a simple idea. Start something, try something, speak up, take a risk. And instead of moving, your brain drags you into a mental maze. You start imagining everything that could go wrong. You replay old failures like flashbacks. You compare yourself to people you don't even know. You predict problems that probably won't happen. And in the background, fear whispers, don't mess this up. The crazy part, overthinking feels productive. It feels like planning. It feels like being careful. But most of the time, it's emotional avoidance dressed up as logic. You're not analyzing because you're smart. You're analyzing because you're scared. And fear is good at wearing disguises. Another thing people don't realize is this. Your brain hates uncertainty. It literally sees it as danger. So when you don't know the outcome, your mind tries to create one. That's why you panic before a big decision. Not because the decision is hard, but because the outcome isn't guaranteed. And humans are addicted to guarantees. We want safety, stability, proof. But life doesn't hand out promises. It gives opportunities. And you gotta take them before they expire. There's also something called decision fatigue, and trust me, it hits harder than a 3 a.m. Taco Bell regret. Every small decision drains your mental energy. What to wear, what to say, what to eat, whether to start, whether to wait, whether to try again. After enough of those, your brain stalls out. That's why by the time you're facing an important choice, you're mentally cooked, and your mind chooses the easiest option, doing nothing. You ever wonder why life feels like it's always one step ahead of you? Like you're watching everyone else move forward while you're stuck buffering in the background? That's the hidden tax of overthinking, and trust me, it charges interest. Overthinking doesn't just slow your life down, it steals from you. Quietly, consistently, and sometimes permanently. First thing it steals? Opportunities. Real opportunities. The kind that only show up once and never circle back. While you're busy thinking, someone else is busy acting. And in this world, action beats intention every single time. You had the idea, you had the dream, you had the spark. But someone else got the result because they didn't wait for perfect conditions. They moved, and you hesitated. That's the cost. Second thing it steals. Confidence. Every time you delay a decision, you subtly tell yourself, I don't trust me. And the more you repeat that message, the louder it gets. Confidence isn't built from success. It's built from attempts, from trying, from showing up. But when you overthink, you rob yourself of those attempts and your belief in yourself slowly starves. Third thing it steals? Time. Hours, days, months, sometimes years. Overthinking can turn a 5-minute decision into a 5-year delay. And the worst part? You don't even notice the time slipping. You convince yourself you're working on it, but really, you're just circling the same mental block over and over like a broken GPS. Fourth thing it steals? Peace. Overthinking keeps your mind on high alert. Even when nothing is happening, you're stressed about what could happen. You replay the past. You predict the future. You run scenarios that never occur. It's like living life with a fire alarm in your head that never shuts off. You're exhausted not because life is hard, but because your thoughts don't rest. Fifth thing it steals? Dreams. And this one hits different. Because dreams don't die suddenly. They fade. Slowly. Quietly. You tell yourself, not yet. Maybe later. I'll start when I'm ready. But later becomes never. And the dream you once felt burning inside you cools, cracks, and disappears. Let me tell you a story. Real quick, but real heavy. A guy once had a shot to pitch his idea to an investor. Big meeting. Life-changing potential. But he kept delaying preparation because he wanted to perfect it. The night before, he panicked. He bailed, told himself he wasn't ready. That investor went on to fund someone else's project. Someone less polished, less experienced, but willing. That moment haunted him for years, not because he failed, but because he never even tried. That's the sad part of overthinking. It doesn't just kill chances. It creates ghosts, versions of your life you'll never meet because hesitation stole them. But the story isn't over, because once you understand the cost, you're halfway to changing the pattern. You ever wonder why life feels like it's always one step ahead of you? Like you're watching everyone else move forward while you're stuck buffering in the background? That's the hidden tax of overthinking, and trust me, it charges interest. Overthinking doesn't just slow your life down, it steals from you. Quietly, consistently, and sometimes permanently. First thing it steals? Opportunities. Real opportunities. The kind that only show up once and never circle back. While you're busy thinking, someone else is busy acting. And in this world, action beats intention every single time. You had the idea, you had the dream, You had the spark. But someone else got the result because they didn't wait for perfect conditions. They moved, and you hesitated. That's the cost. Second thing it steals. Confidence. Every time you delay a decision, you subtly tell yourself, I don't trust me. And the more you repeat that message, the louder it gets. Confidence isn't built from success. It's built from attempts, from trying, from showing up. But when you overthink, you rob yourself of those attempts and your belief in yourself slowly starves. Third thing it steals? Time. Hours, days, months, sometimes years. Overthinking can turn a 5-minute decision into a 5-year delay. And the worst part? You don't even notice the time slipping. You convince yourself you're working on it, but really, you're just circling the same mental block over and over like a broken GPS. Fourth thing it steals? Peace. Overthinking keeps your mind on high alert. Even when nothing is happening, you're stressed about what could happen. You replay the past. You predict the future. You run scenarios that never occur. It's like living life with a fire alarm in your head that never shuts off. You're exhausted not because life is hard, but because your thoughts don't rest. Fifth thing it steals? Dreams. And this one hits different. Because dreams don't die suddenly. They fade. Slowly. Quietly. You tell yourself, not yet. Maybe later. I'll start when I'm ready. But later becomes never. And the dream you once felt burning inside you cools, cracks, and disappears. Let me tell you a story. Real quick, but real heavy. A guy once had a shot to pitch his idea to an investor. Big meeting. Life-changing potential. But he kept delaying preparation because he wanted to perfect it. The night before, he panicked. He bailed, told himself he wasn't ready. That investor went on to fund someone else's project, someone less polished, less experienced, but willing. That moment haunted him for years, not because he failed, but because he never even tried. That's the sad part of overthinking. It doesn't just kill chances. It creates ghosts. Versions of your life you'll never meet because hesitation stole them. But the story isn't over, because once you understand the cost, you're halfway to changing the pattern. Let me tell you a story that hits harder when you realize parts of it might be yours. It's about a guy named Marcus. Chill dude, smart dude, the type of guy everybody said had potential dripping off him. But potential means nothing when hesitation keeps it locked behind a cage. Marcus had a dream. Not a vague, someday dream, but a clear one. He wanted to start a fitness brand. He had the name. He had the designs. He even had the story behind it. His whole life, people told him he had leadership energy, but he never believed it. He always felt like he needed more time, more skills, more experience. In reality, he needed more courage. One day, his buddy invited him to a local entrepreneur meetup. Bro, just pull up, his friend said. You never know who you'll meet. And Marcus thought about it way too hard. He didn't like crowded rooms, didn't like introducing himself, didn't like the idea of people asking him questions he wasn't ready to answer. By the time he convinced himself to go, the event was already over. That was the first missed moment. A week later, his friend told him, Yo, the guy who came to the event invests in small brands. He was looking for someone exactly like you. Too bad you didn't come. I could have introduced you. Marcus laughed it off like he didn't care, but deep down he felt that sting, the sting of almost. Still, he kept working on his idea, but only in his head. He watched videos, read articles, saved quotes, filled notebooks with plans. He convinced himself this was progress, but none of it left the page. Every time he got close to launching, he'd freeze. What if people don't like it? What if it flops? What if I waste my savings? What if I embarrass myself? The what-ifs drained his drive. Then one day, an opportunity hit him right in the face. A small gym near his place was looking for local fitness brands to feature on their shelves. His friend literally said, Marcus, dude, that's you. Go talk to them today. But Marcus said, Nah, bro, I need to polish the designs first. Then the next day he said, I'll go after I finalize the website layout. The day after, let me tweak the logo real quick. He overthought himself into paralysis. By the time he finally got the courage to walk into that gym, They had already picked someone else, a guy with simpler designs, less experience, and honestly, less talent. Marcus congratulated the guy, smiled, shook his hand, then walked out feeling his chest tighten. Not because he lost, but because he never even competed. That was the second missed moment. Months passed. Marcus kept dreaming but never doing. He kept planning but never launching. Every idea became another project unfinished. Every day he waited felt heavier than the last. It got to the point where he couldn't tell if he didn't believe in his dream or he didn't believe in himself. Then came the moment that changed everything. When Marcus asked how she got the courage to start, she shrugged and said, "I didn't think too hard. I just hit upload." That one sentence hit him harder than any motivational video ever could. He realized something brutal. He wasn't scared of failing. He was scared of starting. And every day he didn't move, the weight got heavier. So that night, Marcus sat alone in his room. No music, no noise. Just him and the truth. He took a deep breath, grabbed his laptop, and opened the folder labeled Fitness Brand One Day. But instead of tweaking designs, he clicked Publish. He launched, imperfect, incomplete, unready, but real. And in that moment, something unlocked. Not success, not sales, but flow. The weight was gone. The hesitation cracked. The fear lost its grip. Because finally, he wasn't thinking about building his dream. He was actually building it. Aight, now let's shift gears. We talked about the psychology, the cost, the story. But now it's time to get practical. This is where we start rewiring your mind, one layer at a time. So you stop drowning in thoughts and start moving like someone who trusts their own potential. I call it the 5-layer system. And if you follow this, overthinking won't stand a chance. Most people overthink because they don't know what they actually want, not what sounds smart, not what looks good online, not what your family expects. I'm talking about what you want. Overthinking feeds off confusion. So your first layer is clarity. Simple, direct, real clarity. You don't need a 50-step plan. You don't need a 5-year roadmap. You need a 1-sentence target. I want to do this. One clear intention kills 1,000 doubts. When your mind knows the direction, the resistance drops. You stop wandering and start choosing. Clarity is the first kill switch for overthinking. This right here is where the magic starts. You want to stop overthinking? Start making tiny decisions fast. Micro ones. Like picking your meal in 10 seconds, choosing a shirt in 5, sending the message without rewriting it 20 times. Your brain needs practice trusting itself. When you train your mind to make small decisions quickly, big decisions stop feeling like disasters. You build mental reflexes. You build confidence. And suddenly, your brain stops needing permission for every single move. You don't become decisive overnight. You become decisive through repetition. Momentum is the cheat code. It kills overthinking faster than motivation ever could. That's why you need a ritual, something small and consistent, that signals your brain. We're in action mode now. 10 push-ups, a 2-minute journal entry, a 1-minute cold splash, a 5-minute work sprint. Doesn't matter what it is, and what matters is consistency. Rituals put your brain in a flow-ready state. They lower mental friction. They make starting automatic. And once you start, overthinking loses that grip instantly, because movement overrides doubt. If your rule is I'll act when I feel ready, congrats. Your dreams are gonna wait forever. You'll never feel ready. Not mentally, not emotionally, not financially. Instead, you need a new rule: action first, feelings later. Your mind catches up after your body moves. You take the step, then the courage shows up. You send the email, then the confidence grows. You start the project, then the motivation comes. Motion creates emotion, not the other way around. When you act before you're comfortable, you break the pattern of hesitation that's been running your life. If perfectionism is driving the car, you're always going to crash. Perfection isn't a standard, it's a straight-up trap. You want everything to be flawless, because you think flawlessness protects you from judgment. But the truth? Nobody cares. Nobody's watching that closely. People respect doers more than perfect planners. When you try to control the outcome, you freeze. When you surrender to learning, you move. So stop aiming for perfect and start aiming for progress. It's way better to be kind of messy but active than perfect but invisible. If you really want to stop overthinking and start flowing, you gotta steal the cheat codes from people who live in the zone every day. I'm talking athletes, creators, surgeons, Entrepreneurs, the folks who can't afford hesitation, because hesitation literally costs them money, opportunities, or lives. These people don't wait for motivation. They trigger flow on purpose. And the crazy part? Their methods aren't complicated. Let's start with athletes. Ever see a basketball player hit 3 shots, back to back, and suddenly they're unstoppable? That's not luck. That's a flow trigger called quick wins. Athletes focus on the first small success. The rest builds automatically. Once they feel that rhythm, the mind shuts up and the body takes over. That's flow. Entrepreneurs use something different, rapid initiation. They jump into tasks fast before their brain has time to talk them out of it. They don't think. They start, and then thinking happens along the way. The faster you enter the task, the quicker you silence doubt. That's why successful people look fearless, and they're not fearless, they're fast. Surgeons? Their flow trigger is deep presence. They lock into the moment so intensely that the outside world disappears. No future, no past, just precision. This type of presence destroys overthinking because overthinking only exists when your mind leaves the moment. Creators and artists rely on emotional ignition, music, visuals, quotes, environments that light them up. They create vibe on purpose because vibe kills hesitation. When the emotion hits, the mind opens. That's when ideas flow. But here's the part most people miss. Flow isn't an accident, it's engineered. Elite performers don't wait for the perfect mood. They don't wait for clarity. They build triggers that switch them on like a light. And you can do the same. Quick wins, fast starts, deep presence, emotional ignition. These are tools, not talents. Anyone can learn them. Flow isn't for special people. Flow is for people who stop waiting and start acting. If you really want to beat overthinking, you gotta understand something big. Your brain isn't against you. It's just running old software. Outdated programming. Fear-based coding from when you were a kid, when mistakes felt dangerous and risks felt like the end of the world. But now, you're grown, and you can rewrite that system. First thing you need to know, your brain loves dopamine. It's the chemical of, yo, that felt good, let's do it again. But here's the problem. You've been giving your brain dopamine from the wrong things. Scrolling, daydreaming, planning, but never doing. You reward hesitation. No wonder you stay stuck. So we flip the script. You start giving your brain dopamine from action. Tiny wins, quick attempts, small completions. Send the email, hit the workout, write the paragraph, make the call. Each action sends a signal to your brain. This feels good. That's how you build momentum. You train your brain to crave movement instead of fear it. Second thing, break the fear loop. Every time you hesitate, your brain runs a danger simulation. But most fears are predictions, not reality. To break the loop, you need exposure. Quick, messy, imperfect exposure. The more you face something, the less your brain treats it like a threat. That's how confidence is built. Not by thinking, by experiencing. Third thing, stack small wins. You don't need a breakthrough to change your life. You need a streak. A streak of tiny victories that tell your brain, we're capable, we're consistent, we're built for this. You don't lift a heavy bar on day 1, you build up. Same with your mind. Small wins create big courage. Fourth thing, prime your mind. Prime means prepping your brain like athletes prep their bodies. 3 deep breaths. 1 grounding thought. A quick countdown. A fast reminder. Future me will thank me. This puts your mind in go mode instead of think mode. Fifth thing, the 3-second rule. You got 3 seconds from the moment a thought appears to take action before your brain kills the vibe. Count. 1, 2, 3. Then move. No hesitation, no debate, no extra thinking. Just go. Reprogramming your brain isn't about becoming fearless. It's about becoming faster. Faster than doubt, faster than hesitation, faster than the excuses that used to run your life. If you want to stop overthinking and start flowing every single day, you don't need a crazy morning routine or some 2-hour rise and grind ritual. You just need 7 minutes. 7 minutes to flip your brain out of hesitation mode and into action mode. This routine is fast, simple, and punches way above its weight. Minute 1, breathe. Not the soft, cute kind. I mean 3 deep, intentional breaths. In slow, out slow. This shuts down mental static and puts your brain in the present moment, the only place flow exists. Minute 2, one grounding statement. Say it out loud. I don't need to feel ready to start. This rewires the fear loop and sets your mental thermostat to courage instead of caution. Minute 3, micro movement. 10 push-ups, a quick stretch, a walk across the room, anything physical. Flow loves motion. Movement wakes up your nervous system and tells your brain, we're active now. Minute 4, choose one priority, not 5, not a whole to-do list. 1. The thing that matters most today. Overthinking dies when you reduce your options. Minute 5, prep a tiny action. Write the first sentence, open the email, pull up the file, lay out the equipment. Tiny actions break huge resistance. This is your gateway step. Minute 6, countdown and go. 3, 2, 1, start. No thinking, no debating, no negotiating. Just move. You're training your brain to respond to initiation instead of analysis. Minute 7, momentum lock-in. Once you start, don't stop for at least 60 seconds. That first minute of action is where flow ignites. Keep your head down and your hands moving. That's it, 7 minutes. It looks simple, but simple is powerful. You're not just starting your day, you're starting your flow. Let me hit you with a truth most people never hear. You are not unmotivated. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You're not missing discipline, talent, or some secret sauce everyone else has. The only thing you're missing is movement, plain and simple. Motivation is overrated. People talk about it like it's magic, but it's really just a feeling. And feelings are unstable. One day you feel inspired, the next day you feel tired, discouraged, or distracted. You can't build your life on something that flaky. You need something solid, something you can control. That something is movement. Because here's the twist. Movement creates motivation, not the other way around. Think about it. Ever dragged yourself to the gym with zero energy and suddenly 10 minutes in, you're dialed in? That's movement kicking motivation awake. Ever forced yourself to start a task you didn't want to do and suddenly you're focused and in the zone? That's movement rewriting your mindset. See, your brain loves progress, even tiny progress. The moment you start doing something, your mind goes, oh snap, we're actually doing this, and it releases dopamine, the chemical of momentum. You feel motivated because you moved, not because you waited. But when you sit still, motivation dies. When you delay, motivation drains. When you overthink, motivation suffocates. You're not stuck because you can't move. You're stuck because you won't start. Action is the ignition. Action is the antidote. Action is the real power source behind every goal you've ever had. Let me tell you one more story. The kind that sticks in your head long after the video ends. It's about a woman named Riley. Not famous, not flashy. Just a regular person with a dream she kept locked inside her head for way too long. Riley always wanted to be a writer. Since middle school, teachers told her she had something, voice, emotion, perspective. But Riley didn't believe any of it. She thought people were just being nice. She thought her ideas weren't good enough. She thought nobody would care what she had to say. So she kept her notebooks hidden in drawers, telling herself, one day. But one day never came. Instead, Riley went to a job she didn't love, worked hours that drained her, came home tired, scrolled through her phone, and watched other people chase the dreams she was too scared to start. And every night she'd think, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow always looked exactly like yesterday. Then came the moment everything changed. One night Riley stayed late at work. Dead building. Quiet halls. She was grabbing her stuff when she noticed one of her older co-workers sitting alone, staring out the window. They barely talked, but something about her expression made Riley ask, "You okay?" The woman laughed a little, that tired, cracked kind of laugh, and said, "I'm fine. Just thinking about how fast life goes." Then she added something Riley never forgot. "You don't realize how many dreams you've buried until it's too late to dig them up." Riley felt that line hit her like a punch to the chest. She walked out of that building with a knot in her stomach. She kept hearing the woman's voice in her head haunting her. Buried dreams. Too late. She looked at her life and realized something brutal. She was on the exact same track. If she kept overthinking, She'd end up older, looking back, wondering why she never started. So that night, Riley did something radical. Not big, not dramatic, but radical. She sat at her desk, opened her laptop, and wrote one sentence. Just one. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't poetic. But it existed. The next night, she wrote 3 sentences, then a paragraph, then a page. Weeks passed. Her fear didn't disappear, but it got quieter, and her flow got louder. Fast forward a year. Riley finished her first book. Not because she felt fearless, but because she finally stopped thinking and started moving. One sentence changed everything. Begin the thing that's been living in your head rent-free. You've overthought long enough. You've waited long enough. You've doubted long enough. Your life won't change when you feel confident. Your life changes the moment you choose action over fear. So here's your invitation. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things calm down. Today. Right now. Before doubt wakes back up. Stop overthinking, start flowing, and watch how fast everything in your life starts moving with you. Your path is waiting. Step into it.